Hi guys, I just wanted to check in because I'm completely unable to get to YouTube at the moment, and suddenly a couple of weeks gone by and I've been posting consistently since this project started at the beginning of 2024, this dream to come back to music in my 40s, to record a new album, Chromatic Zero, and to get it out into the world. And as you guys who've followed me know, there's been so many different sort of trials and tribulations along the way, and I've been really doing my best to document the journey, and then suddenly I'm just being pulled so not far away this time, but deep into actually finishing the damn thing, that I just wanted to do a personal checkup because I value so much everyone who follows me along, and I want to keep posting, and I just can't get to it. Now, why have I not been able to get to it? So, well, the record started in 2024, and I got the record written, got it recorded. In 2025, I got so pulled in by side quests in every different direction, and I really got to the point where I sort of reached this sort of point of feeling like I'd failed myself, and it was a tricky time. And I really sort of like started disconnected from this sense that I was ever going to get there, and it was sort of quite punishing psychologically. No great drama, just part of the thing that you go through when you're trying to put something out into the world, because the reality is that, you know, when you dream of something and then you're trying to bring it from potential into actuality, well, in between there are so many different things that you meet, and you meet first of all yourself in its absolute essence, in your state at this point, and then you meet the obstacles, you meet the hurdles, the blocks, and you have to deal with them one by one, and some of those inside yourself and some of those come in from outside and in life. However, I got to this point where I really felt like I don't know if I can do it. I just don't know if I have what it takes to be a musician. I don't know, anymore. I don't know if I can balance it. I don't know if I can juggle. I don't know if I can deal with the responsibilities of life and all of the rest of it. These sort of like very sort of seemingly minor things that always kind of compound and then sort of become a much greater dragon than they might first appear. However, I got to the beginning of this year and I sort of realized that I'm just going to dig into the bottom of me. I'm just going to do whatever it takes, and no matter what change that's going to require upon me to make, I'm going to do myself. I'm going to try with all of my heart to meet each one. And so I've made a lot of changes, such as I sort of gave up alcohol altogether with the prime hope that I could better serve my creative energy. I felt like I was living with this shadow, and I felt like there was something happening on a Sunday night, and when Monday morning came, when I just wasn't living up to, that sense of living potential that all of us have a sense of inside of us, but we can get so blocked off between our heart and our mind and our stomach. And then I realized, it's like, am I the person to do what is being asked of me for this creative dream that I have? And it doesn't have to be a creative dream. I think in any of our lives, we all have a different type of dream, something that we're aspiring to. But there's often this tension between where we are now and where it is that we're trying to get to. And I've been through this journey of, on the one hand, trying to feel like that I'm enough as I am in this moment, while still aspiring upwards, still trying to move towards something. So I started making these changes, of which giving up alcohol was one. But the other one was just to get really serious about what it means to finish something. Because the problem I really had in 2025 was that I got dispersed. I was trying to build an audience. I was trying to do this content creation thing. I was putting so much love into YouTube. And suddenly all of these things kind of became the work itself, beyond this deeper sort of monument that I was trying to build, which is what I consider to be our legacy work. We're trying to create our masterpiece. Oh, is this gone off? No, we're still on. That's cool. Just on my phone. So anyway, after all of these side quests, I've managed to get back on track. But what am I doing this year? So, what has been taking me not away but deeper in? Well, that is exactly the point, because I think at some point you have to make the resolution and the decision that you're going to finish. And you have to look, what is the thing that you most need to do any day to day, week to week? And so for me, I was like, right, I'm eliminating every side quest, and even something that I care so much about, such as YouTube, which I just love this platform and I love you guys. It became something that I just had to sort of be letting go of for a little bit. But what are the specific things that I was doing? Well, first of all, I started working with a collage artist for the vinyl artwork, and this is about 4 months ago, but it didn't work out. And I kind of went back to the start, and I lost a few months, and I felt really gutted about that. So I've been on this journey, and I realized that this record's so personal to me that I have to do the artwork myself. So I went out and I got all the collage materials, rummaged around the Berlin flea markets, collecting stuff from all over the city, and then I just put my heart into making the artwork myself, and I've made like so many different collages, and but I've managed now to get all the analog collages made, and I've got it all digitalized. I've got it from digital into analog, really exciting. And then I was like, right, I've got to get the liner notes for the album. And I was like, well, I want to write something, but what am I going to write? And I suddenly realized, well, I've been writing this sort of journal of the making of the record just for myself over the last year. So I realized, right, that's where I should start. And I started typing it up. And then, of course, that became this monumental thing. It's like 3 years of journaling. And I was like, man, it's so personal. Can I do it? So I've been wrestling with that question. But I thought I just need to type up the damn thing. And then I was like, okay, well, I've also been writing my Substack. My Substack is called The Creative Life. And that's been going really well. It's been shooting upwards. And I thought, well, maybe people might relate to the creative insights, the what I've uncovered and gleaned through this process, through the ups and downs and ebbs and flows and the peaks and the troughs. And so I thought, well, maybe I should have a look at that. And so then I started going through my Substack for the last 3 years as a secondary project and typing and taking everything in relation to the album. And then I was like, well, I don't know. Am I making an album? And then there's the diary, and then there's the book, and then there's the artwork, and all of these things have been consuming me, and I've been trying to work out what to do with each of these aspects. And I'm getting closer, but these have just been really major projects, each of them, and all the while I'm trying to practice and get better, carry on with all the stuff of life that we all have to carry on with. And it's just been a long and very deep journey. But the main thing I wanted to say is that I am getting closer, and I feel like I'm on the path. I feel like I'm on the hunt. I feel like a wolf who's on the trail, and I kind of sense the blood and I'm going after it, and it feels good. And I feel like whatever this version of myself that it was that I felt so distant from when I started this record with my writer's block in the dark and the void of Mahala in the winter of 2024. I feel like I'm inching closer to it, and I feel like something's erupting in my heart, and it's this belief in life, and it's this gratitude for what I have, and it's this deepening sense of community, and this sense that it matters, and that life matters, and these connections between us matters. And I realized that it's not about some wider scale, it's not about some wider audience, it's about what I can bring to one person. And I think that there's meaning in that for me, and that excites me so much. And that's the reason why I'm just putting so much love into this record, because I just want it, if it's one person that gets it, I want it to matter to them. I want it to make a difference. I want it to help, and I want it to inspire. But to do that, I need to allow it to consume me in the way that it's asked me to consume, and to learn the lessons that it's asked me to learn, and to face the trials that it's asking me to face. And so, guys, that's my update. I'm still in there, and I hope with whatever you're doing, that you're giving yourself the grace, that you're doing as well as you damn well can. Because it always will take 10 times longer, and the trial will always be 10 times more difficult, but you do have a strength in you that you have no conception of, and you have all the tools within you that you need, but you have to believe in it. And that is my journey. So when I'm speaking to you, I'm speaking to myself there, and I'm wishing you much love. Keep on going. See you along the way, guys.